1 Corinthians 7 verse 3 says, the husband must fulfill his duty to the wife, and likewise also the wife to her husband. Love meets sexual needs.
Some people believe that the Bible has nothing good to say about sex, as if all God is concerned about is telling us when not to do it and who not to do it with. But in reality, the Bible has a lot to say about sex and the blessing it can bring for both husband and wife. The boundaries and restrictions are God's ways to keeping our sexual experiences pure.
In Christian marriage, romance is meant to thrive and flourish. Let me remind you, marriage and sex was created by God. It is all about celebrating what God has given, becoming one with your spouse while simultaneously pursuing purity and holiness. The Songs of Solomon, for example, though frequently misunderstood as nothing more than an allegory about God's passion for his people, is actually a beautiful love story. The book describes sexual acts between a husband and a wife in poetic detail, showing how each one responds to the other. It expresses how honesty and understanding in sexual matters lead to a life of confident love together.
It is true that sex is only one of the many aspects of marriage, but as time goes by, one of you will likely value its importance more highly than the other. As a result of this, the nature of your oneness as a man and a wife will feel threatened and endangered.
Again, the biblical foundation of marriage was expressed in the creation of Adam and Eve. She was made to be a helper suitable for him. The unity of their relationship and physical bodies was so strong, they were said to become one flesh.
This same oneness is the foundation of every marriage. In the act of romance, we join our hearts to each other in an expression of love that no other form of communication can match. That's why the marriage bed is to be undefiled. We are not meant to be sharing this experience with anyone else, but we are weak, and when this legitimate need goes unmet, and when it is being treated as selfish and demanding by the other, our hearts are subject to being drawn away from marriage, tempted to fulfill this longing somewhere else in some other way.
To counteract this tendency, God established marriage with a one flesh mentality. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 4 says, the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, also the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Sex is not to be used as a bargaining chip. It is not something God allows us to withhold without consequences. Though some do abuse this divinely designed framework, the heart of marriage is the art of giving ourselves to each other to meet the other's needs.
Sex is one God-given opportunity to do that. So stop depriving one another, the Bible warns, except by agreement for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer and come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. You are the one person called and designed by God to meet your spouse's sexual needs. If you allow distance to grow between you sexually, if you allow staleness to set in, you are taking something that exclusively belongs to your spouse. If you let your spouse know by words, actions, or inactions that sex doesn't have to be more than you want it to be, you are robbing your spouse from a sense of honor and endearment that has been set in place by biblical mandate. You are violating the one flesh unity of marriage.
So whether you see yourself as the one on the deprived end, or you would admit that you are the one depriving the other, know that God's plan for you is to meet in the middle and come to a place of agreement, but also know that the path to get there will not be accomplished by sulking, arguing, or demanding. Love is the only way to reestablish loving union between each other. Every aspect that the love day entails, from kindness, patience, selflessness, thoughtfulness, protection, honor to forgiveness, will play a role in renewing your sexual intimacy. When the love of Christ is the foundation of your marriage, the strength of your friendship and sexual relationship can be enjoyed at the level this world can never know.
God has declared in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 20 that you have been bought with a price. He has set his affections on you and went to every length to draw you into desiring him. Now it is your turn to pay the loving price to win the heart of your spouse. And when you do, you will enjoy the purity light that flows when sex is done for all the right reasons. And as if that's not enough, you will also have the opportunity to glorify God in your body. How beautiful.
Today's day, if at all possible, try to initiate sex with your husband or wife today. Do this in a way that honors what your spouse has told you about what they need from you sexually. If they haven't yet, ask them and try be as open as possible. Ask God to make this enjoyable for both of you, as well as a path to greater intimacy.
In your journal, think about these questions. Was this a satisfying experience for you? If it didn't turn out the way you hoped, what do you think is the challenge between the two of you? Have you taken this matter to the Lord in prayer? Are you afraid or embarrassed to express how you feel or what you need from your partner sexually? If, however, it was a blessing for the both of you, what can you learn from this for the future?
Lord God, thank you that we have this privilege of praying. Thank you that we can commit each other into your hands, Lord. And as we come to, we pray that you may help us to take sex seriously and also see that it's a biblical concept that you've instilled in our marriage, Lord. May you be with each and every couple that's watching. May you also bless them in this time and help them to reason out and discuss the challenges that they face with this concept of sex. Thank you for this blessing, Father, and your love. We pray this in your name and name.